Hello, students. Today we are going to start Chapter 1, Tracing Changes in the Medieval Period. Now we are going to discuss about the old and new religions. The medieval period witnessed many religious developments. These includes the worship of new deities, means the idols or the statues of the god, the construction of the temples, and growing importance of Brahmanas as dominant groups in a society. So during this period, many religious developments took place. It included the worship of new deities, means new statues of the god came up during this period. Construction of temples, growing importance of Brahmanas. These were the dominant group in a society. So Brahmanas, they know Sanskrit language, Sanskrit text. They were well versed in Sanskrit text, which earned them a lot of respect in the society because they know how to read the Sanskrit text, they know the Sanskrit language, so they earned a lot of respect in the society due to this. Brahmanas. One of the major development of this period was the Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement we did in 6th grade also. This was a form of prayer in which the person, means the devotees, could worship God without the help of priests and elaborated rituals. Without any customs, without any elaborated custom and rituals, the person can pray to their or worship to their God without help of any priest or any elaborated rituals. A new religion, the new religion name was Islam, that appeared in the subcontinent India. New religion name was Islam, that appeared in the subcontinent. It accepted the sovereignty. Sovereignty means the supreme power. They said there is a supreme power of only one God. The name of the God was Allah. So Islam, they accepted the supreme power, means sovereignty of only one God, that is Allah. Sources. Information of the medieval period we can obtain from either archaeological sources or literary sources. Archaeological sources are the sources which are found by the archaeologist. Literary sources are the written records. Archaeological sources, these includes the inscriptions, monuments, paintings and coins. Literary sources include chronicles, manuscripts, biographies and other works. So, archaeological sources included inscription, monuments, paintings and coins. Literary sources include chronicles, manuscripts, biographies and other works. So these are the sources of Indian history: archaeological, coins, monuments, artifacts or the objects, inscriptions or others. Literary, your religious texts of Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, secular texts of the travelers, Maimonides, biographies, plays, dramas, poems, treatises, etc. So these are the literary sources are divided into religious and secular text. Religious texts are your Mahabharata and Ramayana. Secular text, Arthashastra written by Kautilya and Megasthenes Indica. Indica is the name of the book. Archaeological sources, inscription. Inscription you can see on coins, pillars, monuments and seals. They provide short but important information on various aspects. For example, several Tamil inscriptions of the medieval period show the existence of social system that was opposed to the caste system based on Brahmanical ideologies and principles. So the inscriptions, these are done on coins, pillars, monuments, and seals. Inscription, they provide us very short information of various aspects. Several Tamil inscriptions, the inscriptions which were written in Tamil language, they show the existence of social system at that time. These was opposed by the to the caste system. The caste system was based on Brahmanical ideologies and their principles. Many monuments are built like tombs, forts, mosques, and temples. They provide us a lot of information about that period. The Brideshwara temple at Tanjore, the Jain temples at Mount Abu, Taj Mahal, Red Fort, etc., are the examples of the medieval architecture. Paintings. Two kinds of paintings emerged. There were mural. Mural are the paintings directly on the walls of the caves. Okay, that is murals. And miniature murals. And miniature paintings, we also call it. So, there are two kinds of paintings. These murals and miniature murals are the same. And miniature paintings. The latter emerged under the impact of Islam. These were means emerged under the impact of Islam. The most famous miniature painting school was the Mughal school. The most famous miniature painting school was your Mughal school. Coins also provide us information. Study of coins is known as numismatics. Coins provide us information about the names, date of the different rulers. They give us the idea of the economic condition that was prevailing under the king rule, or during that period what was the economic condition of the country. Literary sources are the biographies or autobiographies. Autobiographies are the biography of a person's life written by oneself, and biography account of a person's life written by a different person. So the important autobiographies are Futuhat-e Firoz-e-Shahi of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Babarnama by Babur. So Futuhat-e Firoz-Shahi of Firoz Shah Tughlaq and Babarnama of Babur, these were two autobiographies. Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri by Jahangir, this was also autobiography. So if I talk about biographies, the most well-known books of that period were Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardai. It described the life and adventures of Prithviraj Chauhan. He was a Rajput ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. Humayun-Nama by Gulbadan Begum. It throws light on the regime in the period of the Mughal Emperor Humayun. Akbarnama by Abul Fazl. It described the events of Emperor Akbar's rule. Means that the Akbar rule, what were the events happened. So, Fituhat Firoz Shahi by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Babarnama by Babur, Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri by Jahangir. These three were autobiographies. Now if I talk about biographies, Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardai, it describes the life and adventures of Prithviraj Chauhan. He was a ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. Humayun-Nama by Gulbadan Begum. It throws the light of the Mughal Emperor Humayun. Okay, what was the rule of Humayun at his time, his period. Akbarnama by Abul Fazl. It described the events of Emperor Akbar rule. What events happened under Akbar rule? A chronicle is a record of the rule of the kings and it describes life at court. So what is a chronicle? It is a record of the rule of the kings and it also describes the life at court. Kings employed chronicles to record and write in detail about what happened during their regime. So they are telling here the chronicle, it is a record of the rule of the kings and they describe the life at the courts. Kings, they used to employ chroniclers to record. Chroniclers were the person they used to record and write in detail about what happened during their regime. So I am talking about the chronicles of the medieval period. Raj Tarangini by Kalhana, a history of the kings who ruled over Kashmir. It was written in Sanskrit language. Raj Tarangini by Kalhana, king who ruled Kashmir, written in Sanskrit language. Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi by Zia-Uddin Barani. Tariq Firoz Shahi by Zia-Uddin Barani. This describes the history of the Sultans of Delhi till Firoz Shah Tughlaq, written in 1356. So, Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi by Zia Uddin Barini. This describes the history of Sultans of Delhi till Firoz Shah Tughlaq, written in 1356. Tariq-e-Farishta by Farishta. It is a record of the history of Delhi Sultans from the time of the Turks till the 17th century. So it was also history of Delhi Sultans. Tariq-Farishta by Farishta. Tahqiq-e-Hind by Al-Biruni, a traveler from Central Asia. Al-Biruni, he wrote Tahqiq-e-Hind. Khazan-ul-Futuh and Tughlaq-Nama by Amir Khusrau. It described the regime of the Khaljis and the Tughlaqs respectively. So, Khazan-ul-Futuh, it was describing the regime of the Khaljis, and Tughlaq-Nama, it was describing the regime of the Tughlaqs. It was written by Amir Khusrau. Travelogues. I generally tell you about travelogues. These are accounts written by the travelers who used to travel various places. So many Muslims and European travelers, they visited India during this period. Muslim travelers visited India and they wrote an account of their travel. So they wrote an account of their travel. Ibn Battuta Rihla describes the regime of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Ibn Battuta, he wrote Rihla, travelogue name was Rihla. It describes the regime of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Abdul Razak is the name of the travelogue. He visited the kingdom of Vijayanagar and wrote about the conditions of the kingdom. Niccolo Conti gives an account of the kingdom of Vijayanagar and its war with Bahmani king. Captain William Hawkins stayed at the court of Jahangir and he describes the hierarchy of imperial officials, the sources of income at that time, the magnificence of the Mughal court. So, these were the travelogues written by the various people. Ibn Battuta, Rihla was a travelogue. He told us about the Muhammad bin Tughlaq regime. Abdul Razak was a travelogue. He visited the kingdom of Vijayanagar and wrote about the conditions in the kingdom. Niccolo Conti gives us account of the kingdom of Vijayanagar and its wars with the Bahmani king. Captain William Hawkins, he stayed at the court of Jahangir. He told the hierarchy of the imperial officials. Hierarchy means under which officials used to come, who was the leader, the sources of the income they used to tell us, the magnificence of the Mughal court. These were about the travelogue. Thank you and have a nice day.